All right, all right. Here we go. Okay, folks, it is a live session here. I hope everybody's having a fantastic Wednesday, July 31st, wrapping up the month. We're going to be taking a look at the technicals. Also, we see the fundamental picture continues to get better and better as we watch the world go through chaos. We have massive events taking place on the world stage as we're on the brink of World War III. Our markets are correcting. See, here's what's interesting is that our markets have priced in a rate cut, but they haven't priced in World War III. That's the problem, and that's going to be a fatal mistake for this market, as I suspect that we're going to see a major correction between now and the election. But today, it's green candles, and gold and silver outperforming, really tearing to the upside today, back above 2,400 for gold, back above $29 per ounce for silver. So these assets are back on the move in XRP. Well, XRP stole the show this month. XRP is starting to bring some panic into the markets this month, as XRP is moving 73% this month from 38-cent lows on 4th of July all the way up to the 66-cent level. And we're watching as XRP is back tested at this moment, and the market's coming down as I fire up this live show. Of course, we're back below 62 cents right now. The monthly close came in right at about 63 cents. But once again, the whole market around us is getting brought down. And this is a cryptocurrency market that really got pumped up, running up into this Bitcoin conference. Another narrative, another event. It comes, it goes, it passes. And it was another buy the rumor, sell the news. And of course, the news was very bullish long term. Long term, these fundamentals are fantastic. Long term, we've been consolidating for 6.5 years. We finally have broken out on a monthly RSI going back for 6-year resistance. This is incredible. And so the technicals lining up with the fundamentals, setting us up for a bullish picture in XRP. But we pray that we can ride out the storm that we're in the middle of right now. Not only an economic hurricane, the financial tsunami is here, it's hitting, but we also have the black swan events that we have to prepare accordingly for. Like I said, we don't have to predict the exact event between now and the election. We just know what's at stake. And by coincidence, by magical powers, events are unfolding. It's truly unbelievable, isn't it? And as this evil gets exposed, you see what they're willing to do. You see that they're eating their own, right? This is a beautiful moment in time where the people are really starting to, make progress as far as leveling the playing field. And that has always been our simple goal. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness on a level playing field. Here we are, 2024, in the middle of this battle, election cycle. It's going to be bumpy. We're in the middle of this storm. But on the other side of this, the greatest transfer of wealth in world history, without a doubt. Not up for dispute. We've already surpassed it by the amount of money and flows that we're seeing in these markets. And of course, I covered in last night's live show how quickly it can go from your currency trading for a couple $100 per ounce of gold to trillions of dollars per ounce of gold. And that was the German mark, an extreme example. But take a look around and see what's taking place as these countries go through hyperinflation. They're going through election problems, chaos, uncertainty, confusion. I mean, talk about FUD. Hey, here we are. And so many elections occurring this year across the world. Now, in the United States, we focused on this. And as I said, the markets have priced in rate cuts. Nobody has a concern because Daddy Powell's going to come ease up on us. He's going to take it easy on us when he gives us a rate cut on September. Folks claiming that we're going to cut rates significantly by the end of this year. And mark my words, as I've been saying, the bomb has to go off or something very bad and catastrophic has to happen for us to get that dramatic of rate cuts. The Fed, believe it or not, actually has it dialed in right where they want it, where they're inflicting just enough pain on the people to bring inflation to cool it off enough to be able to paper this thing over, give the talking points to the mainstream media, talking head pundits, right? They can give talking points that inflation is cooling. Fed Chair Jerome Powell has it under control. Now we know it's a for sure that we're going to get rate cuts in September. Just like it was a for sure thing, rate cuts, 6 of them last year, 7 of them this year. or it was 7 of them last year, 6 of them this year. Either way, we've had none. We've had none. So without further ado, folks, I want to get right on into this update. There's so much to cover. We're going to run through it all. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. If you appreciate my content, you know my deal. I don't have any sponsors, but I do have affiliate community resources. It's a way to support the show, along with smashing the thumbs up, sharing it out far and wide, making sure that you have subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates. But then if you want to support us further, it's ZachRector.com. Exchange wallets, exchanges, wallets, and precious metals. We got you covered. And then if you want to join our private community, this is a small group, like-minded individuals on a clear mission and purpose, making moves on a daily basis. Come get tapped in with us if you're a real one. It's all at ZachRector.com. Let's rock and roll. Now, the reason why I feel comfortable calling this a pump is because this is a 70% move for XRP this month. Take a look at this thing. From the 38-cent lows on the 4th of July to the highs of 66 cents just yesterday. Now, here's what's interesting is you don't have to trade this thing perfectly to have some margin for profit, right? You know, in business, we always talk about looking for high profit margin businesses, right? Which industries, which sectors should I look at? Well, find you a sector, an industry where businesses are running on high margins. So even if you make some mistakes, even if things tighten up, worst case scenario, you're still turning a profit and keep the doors open. When it comes to trading, when it comes to riding a move up, well, anywhere along this journey, 40, 50, 60, 70% swing. That's an opportunity. That's volatility. That's what we're looking for. XRP finally waking up. XRP finally causing a little bit of panic. I feel comfortable calling this a pump because in the traditional markets, a 20% move defines a bull market or a bear market. 20% up, it's a bull run. 20% down, it's a bear market. For cryptocurrency, which, do we want to run with different numbers? We can. Even if you want to say that it has to be a 50% move in crypto for it to be defined as a pump, we're still at 70%. And oh, by the way, we're just getting started. And the technicals show us that we have a lot more. Now, the only debate that we have in the entire cryptocurrency space is how high will XRP go? Some folks say that $6 is the max. $5-6, see you later. I'm out of here. Talked about it last night with the XRP pump warning. There's a lot of people that can't wait to dump their bags at $3, $4, $5, and $6. They're going to be happy as a clam to sell it a 5x, a 10x, and hit the road running. Take the money and run. To each their own. I'm looking to take profits along the way. I have higher targets. I do. And I'm selling a small portion of my bag because I like my XRP. I'm keeping it on my balance sheet as a reserve currency. And the reason being is because we see how volatile this asset's about to be. The ride up gives us a tremendous opportunity to take profits. But then the trajectory in a long-term zoomed out perspective shows us that it's actually held its own very well. It's actually held its own very well against the US dollar, despite everything put against us. And we still are coming out victorious. More on that later. Let's get started here, folks. Current events, World War III. This is now Iran ordering a direct strike on Israel. Iran's supreme leader, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, totally butchered that name, has ordered a direct strike on Israel in retaliation for the killing of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran. Iran considering multiple front attack on Israel. Reports indicate Iran is contemplating a coordinated missile and drone attack on Israel similar to that of April. This potential action could involve launch attacks from Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, Iraq, and Iran. They are trying to overwhelm the Iron Dome. Folks, this is, here's the thing, is I like to slip in some jokes and make it a laughing matter and have some fun with it. There ain't nothing to joke or laugh about here. But as I've been saying, the doofus moron talking head pundits that are telling us everything's fine and A-okay, and the broader markets that most of them are still doofus morons, they're pricing in Fed rate cuts, but they're not pricing in World War III. It's going to be a fatal mistake. This is still a hot war that's accelerating. Things are not cooling off. Despite President Trump saying that he could come in and end Ukraine, the war there, in one day, we are in a conflict that is escalating. If we could put this on a chart as far as the activity, the growth, the volume of war that is taking place, it's ramping up. It's accelerating. It's pumping as well. So Russia now says a full-scale war is the only way for peace in the Middle East and blames the United States. Quote, the knot is tightening in the Middle East. Sorry for the innocent lives lost. They are but hostages of a disgusting state, the United States of America. Meanwhile, it's clear to everyone that a full-scale war is the only way to a shaky peace in the region. Now, I want to say, God bless our troops. God bless our mission to defend this country. God bless the mission to defend our allies. But as I've been pointing out, we got a lot of allies that are talking it, but they ain't walking it, as Kamala Harris said in her speech in Atlanta, right? With the Migos, the walk it like I talk it. Come on. Kamala comes out, come on. But the point being, our allies, they pretend that we're friends. They show up to the conference, they show up to the event, they shake your hand. You think it's all good, happy, slappy photo op opportunity. And then when it comes to actually doing deals and trade with these nations like France, you know, go figure, they're moving outside the US dollar. They're dumping our treasuries, they're moving outside of our US dollar, and this is our allies like Saudi Arabia. So, you know, it's interesting that we're seeing here, the United States, we have all the capabilities, we have the best opportunity. It's just a great country, or at least it was. And this is what we're fighting for, to save and to restore and to build and grow, produce real value, just like other countries around the world are. But we're enforcing our will. We don't want to allow the free trade. We don't want to allow the level playing field. And it's, as we've seen here with this XRP lawsuit and the attack against us and the free pass to Ethereum, it's not just a matter of coming after and attacking the enemy, but they actually give themselves a competitive advantage too. It's not enough to have a little, step ahead, but they actually, press down on us, applying pressure through lawsuits, fraudulent statements, disinformation campaigns, in the whole 9 yards. Same thing taking place here on the world stage as we're seeing these countries around the world are just saying, hey, we want a fair deal. We don't care. We understand that you still have the reserve currency, but just give us a fair deal. And we don't trust you. So we are not going to use the dollar anymore. And we are going to dump our treasuries at the fastest pace since the great financial crisis for China. And if you look at our other allies, they're all moving against the US dollar simultaneously. And if they haven't announced a formal deal, they're flirting with the idea. And behind the closed doors, we all know that they're working on DLT technology. It's the big secret amongst the central banks and the BIS and the IMF, is they're all working on the DLT technology. Now, at the very same time, you're seeing the weapons of war on display are fought in multiple dimensions. This is a psychological war, all the way to being fought financially, currencies, commodities, and kinetically on the ground. And now we're seeing the cyber attacks as well. Now, apparently, I haven't confirmed this myself, but apparently this is a real article from Steve Ram talking about how Hezbollah now has EMP weapons that can be produced by nuclear detonations or non-nuclear sources, such as electromagnetic bombs. Okay, so I'm going to play this clip. You guys take a look at this one.
EMP warnings coming out overnight as a result of assassinations that just took place, and Iran is vowing revenge. The United States and Israel saying they are preparing. Take a look at the latest headlines coming out. Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh killed in Tehran as Iran vows revenge against Israel. And yes, this will be directly impacting the United States, as coming out today, the U.S. said they will help defend Israel if they are attacked, specifically regarding Iran. Pentagon says as Hamas chief is killed. Now, this came out overnight, and in the last 48 hours, we've received warnings that Iran has now supplied Hezbollah with electromagnetic pulse weapons, EMPs, and they are saying that even the cockroaches will not survive. Experts discuss Hezbollah's new EMP weapons. Now, stick around to the end, because if you're wanting to prepare for potential EMP attacks, I'm going to be providing you with some resources. But if you don't know what an EMP is, it is an electromagnetic pulse, a brief.
Yeah, we know what it is. And so here's the deal. We've been talking about this. This is not Grandpappy's war. And it's time to sit down with Grandpappy and talk about what it's like in the trenches. Because very soon, if we don't get it together, we're on the brink of it. And you're seeing it in countries around the world. The internal conflict, and the United States thinking that we have to be the police of the world. We're finding ourselves stretched incredibly thin at a time when we're already broke, we're already bust, and the deficit continues to widen at an accelerating pace, and our respect are on the world stage continues to fall off at an accelerated pace, i.e., why we continue to stack the assets, while we continue to stack offline assets, by the way, blackout barter is what I call it, for exactly what I just showed you guys. And it's all crazy talk until the storm comes through your town. And the storm isn't so crazy, is it? You know, like I said, you don't have to worry about predicting the exact event. You just cover your basis with a simple prepping strategy, and you can ride out 90% of the storms. Now, when we look at the financial aspect of it, that gets a little bit more complex. But we also keep it very simple as far as that goes. We're stacking utility with no counterparty risk that's in limited supplies and quantities. It's a beautiful little setup and a very simple one at that. And we're going to continue to press down, riding out the storm, praying that we're going to make it through. We don't know what's going to hit us. I thank God, you know, every day I wake up and I get to spend time with my family. And every day, you know, I think about this, just how blessed and fortunate I am that I'm not in the middle of this, you know, the real storm where the bullets are flying over your head and the bombs are dropping on your town, and your town is getting hit with the EMP, and your town is getting hit with whatever it may be, weather. Look at the situations that we've had in the United States: train derailments, food production facilities just going up in flames. Look at the forest fires that continue. We're going to have another hot summer. You already know that deal. You already know. And so this is why, you know, for us, we've gone both routes. We've gone old money, physical, and we've also gone with the new world and the digital money. And that's provided balance and diversity for preparing against what is coming here. Right now, we're seeing gains in both. It's been interesting to watch both gold and silver pumping alongside XRP, while everything else is struggling sideways or correcting. Right, and right now we're watching, although XRP is coming down. We'll take a look at the charts here a little bit later once again and talk about how XRP's started to break out. Although everything's coming down right now, we're seeing other coins are going down more, right? So something's changed here in the XRP market. We'll be taking a look at that here shortly. Continuing on though, folks, we need to take a look here. The Fed decision comes out today, leaving interest rates unchanged. Here's the summary from Kabesi letter. The Fed leaves rates unchanged for the 8th straight meeting. The Fed reiterates that no rate cuts until confident that inflation is moving to 2%. Inflation has eased but remains somewhat elevated. Excuse me. And inflation, once again, has eased but remains somewhat elevated. And I'm going to show you this next data point. We'll take a look at that. Fed says that there has been some further progress on inflation, and they are attentive to risks on both sides of the dual mandate. Once again, keep inflation in check and, keep unemployment sustained. Unemployment rate has moved up but remains low, right? The trend is not your friend if you're an average American citizen trying to make it for your family. The trend is not your friend. Is a September rate cut really guaranteed? Well, that's a great question. That's one that I think is very reasonable to ask because the markets, like I said, are pricing in the Fed rate cut. And the Fed is, fairly dovish in today's call, but it doesn't mean that it's an absolute certainty. Now, Fed Powell also said this: I can imagine a scenario of 0 rate cuts to several rate cuts this year, depending on how the economy evolves. Well, gee, thanks. That's a great update. It could rain tomorrow or it could be sunny. It could go both ways. And based off that, I'll let you know how it's going to be the next day, right? No sort of forward guidance other than the market hears what it wants to hear. The market is hearing what it wants to hear. Powell's being very careful and cautious to not try to make it come off as a guarantee, but that's what the markets want to hear. And that's what the perception is. But in this case, the perception might not become the reality because take a look at the inflation numbers. And this is one of their ridiculous data points. The super core inflation, the one that strips out housing, services inflation excluding housing. Supercore growth slows again. And so this is 4.7% year over year in June, slightly down from 4.8% in May. Supercore inflation is an important gauge that the Fed follows, which includes core services less housing. Despite the first month-over-month decline since August of 2021 at 0.1%, supercore inflation remains elevated. Moreover, it has been above the Fed's 2% long-term target for 39 straight months. The Fed still has more work to do. And this is the main point, is that super core inflation, which strips out housing, just like so many of these data points, it's like, what are we doing? What are we measuring, right? We strip out housing, energy, used cars, and everything else that matters, and we come up with an inflation data point that's supposed to mean something. That doesn't mean, as far as, for me, I'm still trying to put a roof over my family's head. I understand, well, Gavin Newsom's tearing down the homeless camps because it's an election season, so now he's going to get tough on the homeless, and he's going and he's sweeping the camps right now. I guess I wouldn't be able to find shelter homeless in California. But I'm making a joke here at the fact that I still want to put a roof over my family's head, an actual one, right? And nothing against folks going through the tough times. The point being, how can we even have a conversation about how, measuring whether times are good or bad when it comes to inflation when we strip out housing? It's one of the essentials. It's one of the essentials, and we strip it out and pretend that that's an inflation gauge. It's an absolute joke. And it's how they paper this situation over. But as I said, you take these gauges that they prefer to use, and they're still double the 2% target, well above. And they're getting worse. They're starting to tick back up. See, this is why I don't believe that the Fed rate cut in September can be baked into the cake. And I think that it's a mistake to do so. And it actually is starting to build a thesis for me that we're going to see a significant correction because in September, the rate cut won't come. And you combine that with other events that are going to occur in September and October. We'll get another, September shock and October surprise, right? And those are going to be catalysts that drive this market back down further, I worry. Now, Nvidia insider trading alert, CEO Jensen Huang sold another $26.4 million worth of Nvidia shares for a total of just under $480 million over the last 7 weeks. So in the past 2 months, he's sold off $500 million worth of Nvidia. That's where we're at right now as far as how much the CEO of Nvidia has been selling off. Despite that, Nvidia has officially added $330 billion of market cap today. This is the largest single-day gain of market cap by any stock in history. Including its current after-hours move, Nvidia has added $390 billion today. Truly insane numbers. Well, guess who profited off this one? Nancy Pelosi insider trading alert. She bought the dip on Nvidia and sold Microsoft just before their earnings plunge. So she took profits on Microsoft, sold that one off. Earnings come out, they're bad. Stock plunges. But she takes that cash, buys the dip on Nvidia, and now Nvidia pumps back up here today on the expectation that the Fed rate cut in September is a guarantee. Take a look at it right here. Don't forget, though, that Nvidia already corrected 27%. As I said, has the bubble been popped? Well, a 27% correction is a bear market where I come from. The School of Economics and Understanding Markets where I come from says that a 20% move is a bear market. And so we've corrected 27%. Despite that, today's pump added $330 billion of market cap. And once again, just reiterates the point, what is market cap? Everybody gets all, fixated on this one metric as far as how high can XRP go, and these market cap bros come out of the woodworks to say, oh, XRP can't go to $50 because that would be a really high market cap. And it's like, well, what market cap conversation are we having anymore when a company like Nvidia can wipe out? Remember, we were just reporting on this the past few days and last week, how it wiped out $200 billion of market cap, $300 billion of market cap, $1.1 trillion worth of market cap wiped out of the stock market in a day. So what are we talking about here, right? Just as quickly as it can be built up, it can be taken away. What does it mean? What does it matter? If we told, if we told Wall Street participants back in the day that you would see $330 billion market cap swings in stocks in one day, they would think that we came from another planet. They would think that we're crazy, right? You have $1 trillion market cap stocks. And as I always said, folks aren't comparing apples to apples because the liquidity value equation that you're doing to add to XRP price is much different than market cap. Liquidity value should be compared to what Swift does on a daily basis, which is 5 trillion, 5 to 6 trillion from Swift, 14 trillion from ACI worldwide. The clearinghouse in the US does about 2 trillion. I don't know how much CHIPS does. There's other payment networks that are doing hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars as well on a daily basis. On a yearly basis, it's a market that moves quadrillions. Very simply put, what are we talking about here? Comparing, XRP can't go here because of market cap. Well, what's the value of the Swift network? What's the value of the derivatives market in the amount of flows and settlement on a daily basis? And what's the value here of a company? Can we justify a $2 trillion market cap for some of these stocks? Can we justify where we're at? No, but that's where we're at. We're in a new reality. And it's only going to go up. It's only going to expand. As I've been saying, no matter who gets elected, the money printer turns back on and the pump begins once again. But guys, I'm giving you analysis on the next few months, the bumpy roads, the little bit of corrections that we can see. But remember that XRP is in its own reality. XRP is in its own situation. And it's starting to flirt with decoupling. I'm not ready to say that XRP is decoupled, but it's flirting with it. If you guys haven't already, please make sure you like this video, share it out far and wide. We're just getting started, and we're going through the cryptocurrency update now. Take a look at it. I got a few more data points to get through, and then we're going to Q&A with an adult beverage. Hope to see you there. Let's stick around. U.S. Senator Loomis, this is Loomis from Wyoming, introduces the Bitcoin Act bill to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve. To establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve and other programs to ensure, and other programs to ensure the transparent management of Bitcoin holdings of the federal government to offset costs utilizing certain resources of the Federal Reserve System and for other purposes. Here we go. So this act may be cited as the Boosting Innovation, Technology, and Competitiveness Through Optimized Investment Nationwide Act of 2024, or the Bitcoin Act of 2024. That's a good name. That's a slick one. From Senator Cynthia Loomis. And as I put out my whiteboard video today, talking about why XRP is a better strategic reserve asset to bring to our balance sheet than Bitcoin, I explained how I'm just glad that we're having this conversation. I'm glad that Loomis is introducing this bill. I'm glad that Trump is having the conversation, going to the Bitcoin conference, selling Bitcoin sneakers. It's all bullish for the space. I laugh at the fact of how much money he's taking from the Bitcoin bros, $15 million to speak, $800,000 for the roundtable, $60,000 for a picture, $100,000 if you were a couple, and his sneakers are now, you can get the pre-order at $499, $500. I got to take a sip of my adult beverage. Cheers everyone to that. God bless Donald Trump for taking the Bitcoin bros to town. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And Senator Cynthia Loomis introducing the Bitcoin Act today. Let's have the conversation. Let's talk about the Federal Reserve. Let's talk about the Federal Reserve System. Let's talk about other systems. Let's talk about alternative reserve currencies. Let's talk about threats to the US dollar dominance, which is the US government, which is the representatives in DC that continue to sell out this country, which is the entities like the private central bank that have taken control of this country. Let's have that conversation. Where is our gold? What should we do with our Bitcoin? I'm fine holding, being hodlers of our Bitcoin. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. The problem is that we got debts to pay. That's the problem. And as you've seen, they pumped it up with Bitcoin conference, Donald Trump speaking, only for the U.S. government to move $2 billion worth of Bitcoin the very next day. Now, I want to make sure, did I not include it? Oh, crap. I forgot to include this one. I got another data point that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to go through my notes after this one because there was a report that that the U.S. government sold off more Bitcoin today. I got to take a look at this because I thought that I had seen this. Oh, it was Mt. Gox. Mt. Gox moving billions worth of Bitcoin between wallets. That's what it was. So we got more Bitcoin on the move. Now, you got the bill here. This is great. Here's what's happening, though, as far as Kamala's campaign. Tennessee Senator Hagerty tells me that Kamala's crypto strategy is burdened by what has been. I asked him what he thought about the vice president's so-called crypto reset and whether it could help her campaign. He said, quote, "It's no surprise that after witnessing the monumental success of President Trump at Bitcoin Nashville, Kamala Harris is, as she has on many other issues, making a desperate last-minute 180-degree flip to appear pro-crypto. And the problem is that the people aren't buying it. And you can bring Meg the Stallion to come twerk on stage, and you can bring the Migos sellout Quavo to come, do a little ad-lib and make a little rap on stage and say what's up, but the people aren't buying it. Unfortunately for her, what can be is burdened by what has been. 3.5 years of egregiously anti-crypto and anti-innovation policies of the Biden-Harris administration. Gary Gensler at the helm of the SEC. Add it all up. Not looking good. Fatal mistake. The crypto community that shares GOP values of freedom and innovation sees right through this, which is why we saw such an enthusiastic turnout for President Trump at Bitcoin Nashville 2024, and why I will also add why the crowd went wild when Trump said he was going to fire Gary Gensler. The people have had enough. Now, guys, back in the day, nobody paid attention to the SEC. Nobody cared who the SEC chair was, because mostly it was a respectable institution that went after those that were actually committing fraud. It wasn't until the great financial crisis that folks started to take a look around at who was at the helm of these bureaucracy beast agencies and why were they sleeping? Why did they fail at their mission to protect investors? And now we see the same thing taking place. It's only bigger Ponzi schemes this time around. Madoff would have been jealous of the Ponzi schemes that are happening these days. And so the Republican Party is the party of crypto, and no last-ditch effort from Kamala Harris will change that, is how Senator Hagerty finishes off his statement to Eleanor Terra from Fox Business. Huge shout out to Eleanor for reporting. I saw that she went to Nashville. That's great. Once again, what we're seeing is very clear division amongst those that have admitted their wrongs. And you haven't even heard Kamala address the crypto issue, other than a statement from her campaign that she wants a reset. Well, let's see you do a Q&A sit down like Donald Trump did today in Chicago with reporters that were awfully hostile, tough questions. And this is the big difference is between those that can actually go live and those that can't. That can only do press release statements from, pre-scripted or pre-recorded or pre-written, or just handlers putting together a statement for these campaigns. There's a big difference. And so you saw today, Trump went to Chicago, took questions from, it was a African-American journalist group. I forget what the actual name of their group was, but he sat down, and it's just so important. It's so important to show up. He did that before he went and did he filled out another stadium in Pennsylvania. And guys, I'm not here to get political. I'm just saying, show up. Every single one of us needs to show up in this fight that we're in right now on a daily basis. What are you doing to share the good word about XRP, the good word about gold and silver, the inspiration that could be shared to start other businesses, to get folks motivated to bring value in this economy, and to get motivated to start preparing for the destruction and continued destruction of this currency and the standard of living that, like I said, it only takes a few years of going through not even hyperinflation, but 10, 20% inflation before you see significant changes to your standard of living and the destruction of your wealth. We're not far away. And so we need to be in this fight. We need to be showing up, just like I'm going to have to say, I'm going to have to admit, I know people get offended. I know people don't like it. Trump showed up twice today in Chicago, taking Q&A, tough questions, and showing up in Pennsylvania, filling out another stadium. Now, I saw the pictures of Kamala speaking in Atlanta, Georgia. It was pathetic. I got to be honest with you guys. I got to keep it real. I'm not here to, once again, call out anything other than the facts and the truth and that which cannot be disputed, which is the pictures and the videos and the scene that we saw, which was not a full stadium, which was a small little arena, which was actually, we saw crowds leaving as Kamala took the stage. But I think that you guys see it just like I do, that people are wondering what the heck just happened. The old switcheroo move. We knew that Biden wasn't going to run, but now we just get given Kamala? It's like last election. I thought that the Democrats made a fatal mistake by pushing Hillary Clinton versus propping up Bernie Sanders back in 2016. Now in 2020, well, we know what happened. But in 2016, why was Bernie shunned? Thought he gave him a better chance than Hillary did. And this time around, they throw Kamala out. What's just happened here? And this is why I think, I'm just looking at this thing very simply. Trump showing up taking questions. And just like he did when he was president, he showed up every single day taking questions from reporters live. Just like I'm doing every single day, or, I don't go live anymore. I make content every day, and it's not as much of a grind as what President Trump's up to. He's working harder than I am, believe it or not, despite the fact that he's 70 something years old, right? He's actually working probably harder than me, definitely flying around, which is always tough to travel and be able to conduct business at the way that, at a high performance level. That's why I respect it. It's just as someone who shows up every single day trying to bring value to my community on a much smaller basis, I respect the hustle. On the other side, where's Joe? It's like he bowed out and now we're not even seeing him. What's happening? Who is running our country? This isn't a political left-right issue. This is a who's running the country question that I would just like a simple question, a simple answer to. Why can't they fill out stadiums despite the fact that they say that they raised, some $80 million in 24 or 36 hours? Don't get me started on where that money came from. I better stop talking about that before I get in trouble. Let's continue on here. U.S. Faster Payments Council introduces 2024 board advisory group. Ripple's James Selleck is on board next to JP Morgan Chase, NASDAQ, Verifin, Wells Fargo, Open Payment Network, etc. Who is invited to the table? As our good friend Brad Keim says, come on in. That would be Ripple, of course. Of course. And we talked about it today. I dropped a video earlier talking about the stablecoin war, Ripple versus Tether, and the fact that Ripple's continuously invited to the table, to the White House, to the round table with the senators on both sides of the aisle. But where in part of the U.S. Faster Payments Council here, task force, I should say, Ripple's invited, Tether's nowhere to be seen. But what do we see? In this, I just watched a clip of this before coming on live here tonight. Once again, people forget that there was just testimony earlier this year talking about Cantor Fitzgerald and how they're facilitating and how Cantor Fitzgerald's the touch point. The CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald was just at the Bitcoin conference, as bullish as could be, talking about how they own a crap load of Bitcoin, right? And they are the custodian and basically the prime broker for Tether in managing their treasury holdings. Now, what's interesting is that in the testimony that was given, I forget who this was and what agency they were from, but it was testimony in the House or Senate. It was basically the testimony in Congress, I should say, earlier this year, where they talked about how Cantor Fitzgerald was the touch point to get at Tether, basically saying that they have jurisdiction over all US dollar transactions and US dollar activity, and the touch point to Tether is Cantor Fitzgerald. So Tether can do as much shady stuff as they want, different Cayman Islands, shady audit firms, never actually show reserves and do their Tether game. And they're allowed to do that, right? And it's because when the word goes out that it's time for Tether to freeze assets, they abide. Despite them growing outside the United States, when the US government gives Tether a call, they have a very cozy relationship with the US government, don't they? And we've seen some of the largest freezes of assets ever have actually taken place with Tether. Out of all the cryptocurrencies, some of the largest freezing of assets have been done on the Tether chain. So when it's time to be cozy with the US government, they're allowed to. Most of their activity, though, is happening outside the US. But as I was saying, the United States government is allowing this to happen because it expands US dollar dominance, just like Donald Trump said in his speech at Bitcoin Nashville. Stablecoins are key to expanding US dollar dominance. I wonder if they've had a conversation or two with Ripple that might effectively, move the US dollar towards keeping that dominance through a RLUSD, through a Circle partnership. As we're seeing that Circle's invited to the table, Coinbase is invited despite the SEC suing them. Now, once again, to wrap up this month, a historical month, as we have the SEC taking another massive loss, by the way. Don't forget that happened this month as well. Now, it wasn't the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit where we got the update. It was the Binance lawsuit. What did they say? Hey, Judge, let's just forget about giving us a ruling on these 10 tokens that we said were crypto asset securities. Yeah, by the way, we just don't need an answer on that for now. Thank you very much. And it was kind of just like in the debt box case, where after they got caught lying and fabricating information to the courts, they said, oh, please don't sanction us, Judge. This is just a misunderstanding. And the judge actually did follow through and sanction SEC lawyers. And that was another embarrassment for our SEC this year. And it's one big fat loss, one after another in the U.S. courts, as even Democratic judges like Judge Torres are ruling against the SEC. So this is once again, both sides of the aisle, and as it should, the law of the land, should be interpreted by fair and balanced justices. And that's exactly what's happening as we interpret the laws and we, instill them in our system here. We're seeing the SEC take massive losses. It's just a fact. As we tally up this score, we have the SEC, some big cases, some important cases where they're just completely bowing out now. The SEC just completely folded their hand. They know they're going to lose. The tide's going out. It's not coming in for them. And so they're bailing. They're bailing and they're saying, Judge, please just forget about it. No, we don't need a ruling on these 10 tokens. Thank you. Just forget about it. It's okay. This is an absolute joke. And what I would love to see is this judge come out and give us a favorable ruling saying, no, these tokens are not a security in and of themselves. They may have been sold as an investment contract, but the ones in front of me, and as far as ruling on them, I'm going to cite Judge Torres' ruling that the tokens in and of themselves are not securities. So even though you don't want us to rule on it, even though you don't want us to make a statement, or even though you don't want more precedent against you, we're going to deliver that. That's what the judges should do. We're going to continue to update you guys on that case, but that's just one of many cases where the SEC is losing. Now, folks misinterpreted this as saying, and being upset, they're giving the free pass to these tokens, but we're still in this XRP lawsuit. We're still waiting for this XRP lawsuit to conclude. That's true. But these tokens are listed in the Coinbase lawsuit. They've been listed in the Kraken lawsuit. These coins do not have clarity. Now, if these coins want to suggest that the precedent set by Judge Torres applies to their token, then maybe they can make that case. But they're going to have to make that case before a judge if the SEC continues with these actions. Now, the SEC bowed out here against Binance, and maybe that's because they already collected $4 billion from Binance, from Secretary Janet Notel and Yellen. But what was interesting about that little speech in appearance from the Treasury Department was Gary Gensler wasn't involved. They involved the Department of Justice, they involved the Treasury, but they didn't invite Gary Gensler, and the SEC had no representation. But nonetheless, we'll continue to watch as the SEC not backing down. They continue to bring these cases, but they continue to take massive losses. And I'm going to be interested to see what the judges end up giving us as far as a ruling in that Binance lawsuit. Let's get to what you guys have been waiting for. XRP July pump. Let's take a sip of our adult beverages, eh? God bless you guys. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't already, please smash that thumbs up for me. God bless. XRP did a July pump. It's undeniable. Take a look at the chart. I'll show you right here. We're looking right now as the cryptocurrency space has sold off after hours. We still have crypto going, right? There is no such thing as after hours in crypto. Stock market closed. Green candles for the stock market. But for crypto, we actually got red candles for most. But we did close out the month at the 63-cent level for XRP. Now, we start this new daily candle here. This is the August 1st candle. And we're watching as crypto selling off in the after hours. But this is a pump. By anybody's definition, this is a pump. In 1 month, low to high, 73% swing. This is why I've been saying you don't want to be on the sidelines with XRP. There's a bunch of people in the cryptocurrency space that are now starting to get it. Oh crap, now's the time to get in on XRP. I better double up my moon bag. I don't have enough XRP. Maybe I should take profits on Bitcoin because it's selling off right now back below 64,000. Now, who was warning that we were going to see a sell-off after the Bitcoin conference? Who was warning that we were going to see a sell-off by the time Donald Trump took the stage? And then as I was live, and we had over 5,000 people listening with us live as we watched the Trump speech, the market tanked But then it started to recover off of the news that he said that we were going to be Bitcoin hodlers. Now we pumped for 24 hours after that, back up to 70,000, as you see on the chart right here, back up to 70,000. But then we sell off on the news that the US government just moved $2 billion worth of Bitcoin to start the week. And we got Mt. Gox Bitcoin still being moved. And we got other governments still selling Bitcoin. And oh, by the way, we still have a World War III, which it doesn't look like Bitcoin is going to be able to resist and, hold up right now with the threat. We're seeing Bitcoin brought back down, and we saw the stocks that were actually brought back down towards the end of the day. The initial pump was after the FOMC interest rate decision. Fed Chair Jerome Powell giving an interview. The market initial reaction was to pump, but then it sold off towards the end of the day because we went, oh crap, maybe an EMP is going to go off. Maybe a bomb's going to go off. Maybe there's going to be a multifaceted attack from multiple countries, as we reported at the very beginning of this episode. This is a escalating war. Oh crap. Maybe everything isn't A-okay. Now, we were told that Bitcoin was going to be able to ride out every one of these situations. Right? We were told that this is the asset to be in when crap hits the fan. Well, so far, we've seen here off the highs back up to 70,000 that they pumped us, Bitcoin's already down 9%. And we're continuing the trajectory, 63,911, 63,900. This is where Bitcoin's trading as I record this update. XRP finally broke below the 63 cent level that we'd found a little bit of support on, but then we finally have broken back through. The main question remains right now for XRP, was this a false breakout, and are we headed back down with the rest of the crypto market? Are we going to go touch this trend line one more time? We bounced off of it in April down to 40 cents. We bounced off of it on the 4th of July. We were celebrating freedom, and I was too busy celebrating freedom and spending time with the family that I didn't buy the XRP dip down to 38 cents. Kicking myself. Here we are at 61. Now, folks are worried. Oh, now it's dumping. I love this, man. Every time XRP goes back down 1 cent, 2 cents, it's dumping. And then folks come back at me and they say, well, when XRP pumps 2 to 3 cents, you say it's pumping. No, I don't. I say it's pumping after it's moved 73% in a month. That's a swing. That's a move. That's a month. And that's a momentum that has the rest of the cryptocurrency space in full panic mode. The ones that have XRP like us, we got FOMO because we're thinking, oh crap, I didn't scoop enough. I should have picked up that dip at 40. For those that don't have XRP, they're scrambling to get in. And they're coming in, and now you're seeing them shill it. I was talking about this last night in the XRP pump warning video about how you have a lot of folks, TA bros, that have come in, and they're in XRP to ride it to $2 to $3, and that's it. They want $2 to $3 XRP, and then they're gone. And then they can't wait to come back and tell their followers that they dumped on the XRP community. This is what they've wrapped up. Some of these guys have literally made their ego about this. Who they are as a person is hating on XRP. And so they can't wait. I got some interesting TA to show you guys right here. Take a look at this from the charting guy. XRP monthly RSI has broke a 6.5-year downtrend. This is not a drill. Now, this is why I've been saying that it's okay for us to get a little excited right now, because there's some interesting things happening on the chart, despite being back down right now. Oh my gosh, XRP's going down. Yeah, but it's not crashing like the others. And we're seeing it actually hold up fairly well. And we're seeing on the monthly close that XRP did break out on the monthly close when we're looking at the RSI that had been trading in a 6.5-year downtrend. We finally broke out. Furthermore, take a look at this one. Based on the 2017 fractal, this is from XRP Hawker. Based on the spring 2017 fractal, XRP is anticipated to soar to approximately $6.10 by the end of August. This surge will likely be followed by a correction to about $2.38 by September. This is what I've always warned about, right? Pump to $5, back down to $2. Pump to $6, back down to $2.38. Those are very specific targets. I like to round up. By September, we're going to get that correction back down. But this will be leading to a final upswing to around $32, effectively concluding the alt season by November 5th. So here's let's take a look here at this chart right here. You see all this touch point right here, and he's showing us we need to break out of it. We need to break out of it, but when we do, $6 target, correction back down to 238. That's what I wanted to show you. His prediction of an upswing to 32, that's a stretch on the far end. That's stretching it out a lot farther than a lot of people want to. Am I going to say, God, no, you can't talk about a $32 XRP, especially not this bull run? That's absolutely ridiculous. No, of course not. I'm a grown adult. And I understand that we can't use recency bias when applying technical analysis to an asset that's been consolidated and suppressed artificially, I might add, for 6.5 years. When we see an asset class that's seeing inflows into ETFs that have never been achieved, and we don't even have an XRP ETF yet. We don't even have baskets of ETFs that include multiple of these large cap digital assets, which are coming, by the way. It's not just spot ETFs, it's basket ETFs, it's trading strategy ETFs, it's a whole lot of ETFs, and it's going to bring a whole lot of liquidity into the space, and it's going to lock up a bunch of XRP as well. And so I wanted to share this one because it's somebody else. I've never heard of this person before, but they have the same sort of line of thinking that I do, which is we stretch out, pull your fibs, pull your predictions, pull it out of your you-know-what, round off like I like to do. We go to a new all-time high. After we go to an all-time high, there's just going to be a massive sell-off. $5 back to $2, $4 back to $1.50, $3 back to $1.50, round up, take a guess, take a stab at it. That's what's coming. But then after that, this is where I think that these TA bros and folks that have lost conviction and folks that don't understand breakouts of 6.5-year artificial price suppression is that second jump, that second wave. This is what we've seen in both bull runs. The first initial pop in 2021 was the pump to about $1.20, $1.30, and then the final blow off top was at $2. In the previous bull run, though, the pump took us from literally sub penny to 6 to 7 cents to 30 cents to literally from a level of about 25 to 30 cents. Then 1 month after that, XRP goes to above $3 and crashes exchanges and basically tops off and ends the rally for altcoins, right? I guess some of the altcoin rally did continue into 2018, but that 2018 is when the ICOs topped out and went bust. It was basically XRP topped out for fundamental cryptos, and then the rest of the year was just pump and dump ICOs that then took us into that basically took us through the bear market of 2018, 2019. And remember, we had the false breakout, the bull trap rally in 2019 of 300% for Bitcoin from, basically, what was the levels? 3,000 to 2,000, but then back down to 3,800 in March 2020. Now, that March 2020 style correction was dramatic. Will we see that again? No, but we've already seen a Bitcoin correction of nearly 30%. So we've already done half of the March 2020 crash. That's the reality of where Bitcoin's at right now, is that we've already done half of the March 2020 crash of over 60% in 1 month. So interesting setup here as XRP showing us the technicals have broken out. The XRP fundamentals are better than ever. The inevitable events are right around the corner. Now, there are a lot of misinformation and confusion about these SEC Sunshine Act meetings. And now folks are reporting that the meeting tomorrow got canceled, and they think that that meeting was about Ripple, and they think that now this is a signal that the case is going to settle and basically end. It's highly unlikely that this case settles, right? If we do get a settlement, it would be very unlikely, but if it does, let's just run through that scenario for one moment, and then I want to take your guys' Q&A so you guys can start dropping your comments and questions down below. I want to run through the different scenarios here because we're right here at the inevitable end of this lawsuit. If we get a settlement, highly unlikely, but this would be interesting because it would seal up and it would potentially stop the judge from issuing an injunction, and it would stop the judge from giving any sort of clarity on Ripple's business that could be used by other businesses and other crypto issuers. See, what we're waiting for is the judge to say, okay, all of these sales were unregistered securities offerings. Here's your fine. She's already determined and said that they're all unregistered securities offerings. But as she applies the fine, I think that this can provide additional clarity, basically saying, hey, the unregistered securities offerings to institutional investors, I'm going to give you a slap on the wrist for that. But those in accordance with ODL, I think were actually done with the intent of utility. And maybe she issues some sort of additional clarity on those and decides not to issue a penalty. That would be a de facto clarity on those ODL sales, right? That might be a stretch. Maybe I got my rosy glasses on trying to think of the best case scenario there, but that would be a potential ruling from the judge here. That's all we're waiting for, is that ruling. Now, if the SEC wants to stop that ruling from coming out, they would settle. If the SEC wants to guarantee they're going to get a check, they would settle. I find it hard to believe that Ripple would settle at this point unless it was a sweetheart deal. It would have to be a green light on Ripple's business, and it would have to be very clear that Ripple has full clarity going forward as to how they can sell XRP. If they had that, maybe they'd be willing to settle up. I just see too much momentum on Ripple's side for them to want to settle up, right? I mean, why should Ripple be paying anything? This is a technicality that really shouldn't even be applied as far as a fine goes. When you look at all of these sophisticated investors and institutions that were making these purchases. And I would also say that we should have got a ruling from the judge that the on-demand liquidity sales were not investment contracts. There was no investment. This was a utility as a cross-border payment. It's very clear. There was, in many of these cases, there was no intention for the institution to actually hold the asset. It's like, no, we're buying and we're selling right away using it as a bridge currency. This is not an investment. This is a transaction. This is being used as a currency. The contract is structured as a simple buy-sell agreement to find liquidity in a market. This is not an investment. But we didn't get it in the ruling last year. We will see if it's applied when the judge decides disgorgement, fines, and fines, of course, with interest on top of that, which I don't believe that, if anybody has a case to appeal on, it's actually Ripple. Ripple has a reason to appeal and to say, no, the judge should have provided clarity that these ODL sales were not investment contracts. And so, nonetheless, we're right here. Everybody's thinking that these Sunshine Act meeting notices are notices that the SEC is talking with Ripple or that the SEC is getting ready to settle up with Ripple. Like I said, it's very unlikely at this point that we get a settlement. But these meetings have to be reported publicly. It's called the Sunshine Act. And what it means is literally, let the light shine on the fact that the SEC is having ongoing meetings about ongoing cases, current litigation, current settlement. And these are conversations that they have every single month. Every single month, this gets blasted out and put out. And then all these people hype it up and think that this is them discussing settlement with the SEC, with Ripple, I should say, which they very well could have previously. I'm sure they've had many conversations about the Ripple case, but it doesn't mean anything, or it doesn't guarantee, we cannot say for sure that they were discussing the Ripple case. And at this point, a settlement's highly unlikely. So I would be betting, and I am banking, that we're going to get a ruling from Judge Torres any day now. The next month or so is probably it. It's very unlikely that this ruling from Judge Torres takes longer than the next 2 months. I firmly believe, and I've already given you guys the prediction a couple live shows ago, I said that I believe that this case is over by the end of September. This case is over by the end of September because Judge Torres is going to give us that ruling either this month, August, or in September. This will not be extended out further than that. That is my prediction. I'm sticking to it. You guys let me know in the comments what's happening. Let's do some Q&A. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. If you guys haven't already, please like this video. And like I always say, all of my community resources are available for you guys at ZachRector.com. Never trust exchanges. Yeah, this is why I have multiple exchanges. I like to have multiple options, multiple bank accounts, multiple assets. Yep. What are you guys working with tonight? Check out Space Chain. EliPal is fire. Yeah, Hustle Hard Crypto. The reason why I have EliPal wallets listed on my website, you guys can check them out because they have storage for XDC, right? Along with a couple other wallets as well. But definitely check that out because if you're looking for an option for XDC, there's only so many. So, Zach, what beverage are you drinking? These days, I'm drinking the Michelob Ultra. Trying to watch the dad bod. And of course, XRP hasn't pumped. And I like cheap light beer anyways. I only drink cheap light beer. I don't, I don't do the IPAs. I don't do anything heavy. I like to keep it light. And while I wait for XRP to moon, I'm definitely keeping it cheap. So it's a Michelob Ultra. Zach, I know you swing trade XRP. You have to make money, right? John, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm going to be swing trading XRP. It's not something that I swing trade often. I've never swing traded it, but I would, I don't know if I would even consider it a swing trade though, because to me, a swing trade is, are we talking about a 1 month, a 3 month, a 6 month swing trade? Or are we talking about, a swing trade over a few days, a week? I definitely don't day trade my XRP. I don't even really swing trade it. I have a long-term strategy on XRP to sell at some higher targets, higher than $5 for sure. Drink wine. Yeah, I'm a big fan of wine too. Thanks for the update, Zach. This month has been crazy, brother. Man, from here on out, it's just going to pick up. From here on out, it's just picking up. Absolutely. Does God want us to buy XRP? Boy, now that's a question. Cheers, everyone. Thank you for being here. Yeah, exactly, John. Yeah. I don't play around with too much of my XRP, but I am going to be taking profits on some of it this bull run for sure. I'm going to be dropping an updated XRP exit strategy for you guys too, so make sure you guys tune in for that one. XRP Ledger tokenizing treasury bills. Yeah, so we're going to see, I'm expecting that to pick up. We've already seen treasury bills and money market funds tokenized on Stellar and some other blockchains as well, but it hasn't really impacted price too much on Stellar. So I would imagine that the first initial, announcements, hey, treasury bills coming to XRPL, gold coming to the XRP ledger, I don't expect it to move price all that much, to be honest with you guys. Just because we've seen historically here that even like what Franklin Templeton has done on Stellar is one of the largest funds of T-bills on any ledger. It's only been surpassed now by BlackRock and a few others, but the Franklin Templeton was the largest one last year. It's now been surpassed by BlackRock and others, but it was the largest, tokenized treasuries on chain. Yeah. And it had no impact on XLM price from what I can remember. I mean, maybe it pumped on the day that was announced, but obviously XLM has not broken out or had any significant run other than following along with XRP. And I better not forget XLM because it is true that with XLM, it has followed along with XRP every single time for whatever reason. Jed McCaleb sold his soul to the right people. And so XLM runs every time XRP does, and it hangs in right there with XRP. So for whatever reason, God told me to buy XRP. He said it was my provision. Yeah, this is the thing. Son of the Great King, I appreciate that because many people have come to XRP through visions, dreams, prophets. I know that it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I've seen some incredible moving stories. Been touched by some of these stories and visions and some of that spiritual aspect, I think, definitely plays into my thesis as well. Because, it's like get rich or die trying. For me, it's create a level playing field or die trying. I'm going to have to put that on a shirt maybe, right? Create a level playing field or die trying. That's what we're trying to do. Of course, I want to, build generational wealth for my family, but it's not so much of, I want to get rich per se. That's not how I look at it. I look at it as build wealth and then create value and provide value for others to do so on a level playing field. And so, once again, many people have come to my channel actually because I've done some interviews with some of these people that focus more on the profits and the spiritual aspect of it. It's not my focus. Spiritual aspect of life matters a lot to me. A very spiritual person and very in line with that, all of that, very in tune. But I let others handle that. That's kind of their forte. For me, to say that what we're living through feels biblical and looks biblical would be an understatement of biblical proportions, literally. You're watching as they're talking about striking Israel here today. We're talking about some crazy events that are unfolding before us. There's something there, it looks like. What will you do with all your new money? It's a great question. For me, I'd like to be able to help invest in companies in real estate. So business and private equity and real estate, private equity and basically both businesses and real estate. And the reason why I want to do that is I want to have a large impact building businesses that bring people value, very simply put. And so the idea, right, is to be able to have a basic understanding of business, real estate, and then partner up with market experts, industry experts, and other professionals that can help me facilitate these deals that, for me, yeah, it's great. We're going to make money, but also what impact are we having? And not just talking about it and not just, being about the fluff that a lot of this conversation leads to, in my opinion. A lot of people want to do good and they say good and they speak good and they want to talk about this and that. But there's a big difference between actually talking that game and actually walking that game. And I hate to bring it back to Kamala Harris's walk it like I talk it, analogy that she said. But for real, I mean, there's just a lot of people that say, I'm going to do all these things and have all these charities and all this. To me, I don't even really think too much about the charities. I think more about the businesses. How can I employ people? How many people can we employ? How many jobs can we create? That's the focus for me, right? How many entrepreneurs can we invest in that will build businesses that employ people and bring value to the world? That to me is multiplying, right? Whereas charity, it's tough. My mentor, Dan Pena, says it's more difficult to give your money away than it is to make it. Now, that is tough to wrap your mind around for someone who doesn't have that kind of money, to think, what do you mean it's more difficult to give it away than it is to make it? Well, someone of his caliber can, make money without thinking about it. But when you go to give it away, you're trying to find legitimate institutions that are actually doing something righteous with your money. There's a lot of fraud in the charities, in that sort of stuff, in the nonprofits. So I get it. I mean, that'd be a good problem to have, wouldn't it? It's tough giving away this much money. Yeah. Crypto Shark Tank. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that there already is basically crypto Shark Tank. There's private equity all over this space. And a lot of these guys are straight vultures, right? Now, for me, I'm not going to pretend that it's all righteous and holy over here and that I feel good, you feel good, we sing cha-cha-cha. No. And, this is a win-win deal. I don't know how much I believe in that. There's always someone who gets a little bit more. But the thing for me is, if you continually are the one that's giving more value to the other side, you will be compensated righteously, and you will be justified in the amount of wealth that you are creating, and you will feel good about it, and you can build something that's sustainable. Versus a lot of folks, which are fly-by-night operators, they come in, they take, they give a little bit, just enough that they can take, and then they take their money and run, literally. And that's why our space is filled with frauds and scammers and private equity vultures that are basically just pumping and dumping one token after another. And these are the same types of guys that act all righteous and holy, like they're looking to, like they actually believe in the crap coin that they're pumping and dumping on you. These guys are all liars. It's very sad what's been done in this space so far, but it's human nature, and it's human nature on 100x leverage. Welcome to crypto. Right? Zach, do you think that there's going to be a deeper dip on XRP below 60 cents? G. Barbara, good question. Yeah, I do. I think that despite XRP holding strong, we're going to get some hits here. There's just hits coming. And this is the thing is I want to put on the bullish blinders and think that it's only up here for XRP, and XRP pumped 70%, and I can finally say that XRP's pumping because it actually is, right? But despite that fact, I always stay level-headed. I always am willing to issue my warnings, and usually I'm just early. That's my flaw, is that I've been early in many of my predictions and market moves that I think are coming. And a lot of people aren't willing to lay these types of predictions out on the line. I've been doing this now for, basically 2 to 3 years. Really talking about the markets, honed in and very specific on which direction I think it's heading over the past 2 years. But not a lot of folks want to do that. They want to say what Jerome Powell said today. Well, we might not cut rates at all this year, or we might cut rates a lot this year. The sun may come up, it might be sunny tomorrow, or it might rain, right? These guys say, oh, the market could go up, it could go down. I tell you, we're going down. Now, I tell you too, the XRP is going up. It has reasons to go up very high. It has reasons to pump, 10x from these levels with ease. With ease. I firmly believe that. But short term, but statements being made by Iran today that are not good. Markets already reacting to that. And this is just one scenario of dozens that I'm looking at for black swan events. And you are seeing them play out. The CrowdStrike deal is another one that these events are coming so quickly, you forget about them by the next day. We got the TikTok attention span these days, and so by the next day, we've already forgotten that we had the largest IT outage in history, and we still can't explain it. And was it a little bug? Oh, it was just a little bug. Don't worry, nothing to see here. Not the precursor to much larger cyber attacks. No, don't worry, nothing to see, nothing to worry about. Microsoft Azure was having issues just yesterday. Sure, it's unrelated. Sure, it has nothing to do. I'm sure we shouldn't worry. I'm sure we shouldn't have, options for when the systems go down. I'm sure we shouldn't have multiple bank accounts that are under the $250,000 FDIC insurance. I'm sure we can trust the FDIC insurance. I'm sure we don't need to stack up precious metals in our own safe. I'm sure that we don't need to stack our cryptocurrencies in our own cold storage wallets, right? Let's just keep our money in our 401k. Let's keep thinking that real estate's going to keep going up. Let's keep on thinking it's going to be a participation trophy economy, even though the cost of debt has gone up 100%. Let's, keep our delusions going. Let's keep on hallucinating, thinking that everything's going to be A-okay, while the bombs are literally going off, while inflation's still running high, while the markets are already fragile and already down 20-something% for most of the big Magnificent Seven, down 10% already for the indexes. Gold and silver still sending a warning back above 2,400 for gold, back above $29 for silver. Let's take a look at it. What else are you guys working with? Nothing to see here. Yeah, nothing to see. Don't worry about commercial real estate, John. John, don't worry that commercial real estate has already fallen and collapsed 50, 60% or more in some cities, getting completely gutted. Don't worry about that. Nothing to see here. Don't worry about the fact that mortgage demands dropped to a level not seen since 1994. Pending home sales haven't been at this level since the great financial crisis. Don't worry about the real estate data. 2440 gold. You know, the futures had already broken out to a new all-time high. This is not the futures. This is the spot market. But what we're seeing right here is 2,440. We broke back above 2,400. Big pump for gold off of these lows, back up for 4.5%, back above that 2,400. What's important here is we didn't even get back down to these 2,300 levels. We went back down to 2,350, but I was saying I want to see 2,300 hold. Big time support here. We only went halfway there, and now we're climbing back again. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how gold performs during this moment, because like I said, we could have an official recession by the end of this year. Will gold be able to continue the rally? It's going to be interesting to see. Some would argue that maybe gold is finally decoupled from the rest of the markets, right? Because it's going up and been going up, and also sustaining and holding. For silver, it's back below $29. Actually, silver just got beat up. It was back above $29 as I started this episode, $29.17 per ounce. Now it's back below $29 and dropping. So I've been saying, hey, you want that sub $30 silver, you're going to have to see what the premiums are right now. We got some good affiliates that can get you set up for rolling over a 401k retirement account or for getting the metal shipped directly to your door. But either way, how much longer are we going to get to buy silver under $30, gold under 2,500, XRP under 60? I think the clock is ticking and time is running out. Bitcoin back below 64,000. Tom showing up and reminding us to laugh a little bit. Absolutely, Tom. I appreciate your super chat. Appreciate your support, Tom. Much love, brother. Zach, have you mentioned the SEC meeting tomorrow was canceled again? Yes, Formula Moments. I was talking about that earlier. Many people mistakenly thinking that this was an SEC Ripple settlement talk. Now, it could have. There's a chance. It's unlikely, though. Very unlikely that we're going to get a settlement at this point, but it is worth noting that the SEC canceled the meeting tomorrow. Does it mean something? Who knows? The problem is that we're seeing, just like we saw earlier this week in the Binance lawsuit, they folded their hand in that case. So the SEC, I would love to be a fly on the wall at these meetings. Now, do every one of these meetings, are they talking about the Ripple case? Not likely. They're talking about other cases. And so it's really unfortunate that there's many people in the XRP community that are getting overhyped and they're building up false expectations based off these meetings. There's a law called the Sunshine Act that requires the SEC to disclose every time they're talking about settlements and ongoing litigation. That's all this is. It's been, taken and ran with that it's SEC versus Ripple settlement talks every single month. These same meetings are happening. And every single month they hype it up, and it's unfortunate. So I wanted to clarify that for you guys once again here tonight. Thank you for bringing that back up. It's important to understand. But Gary folding his hand. I do not believe that Bitcoin will be a player in the future. Yeah, once again, we've seen what happens with these technologies and these revolutions. The old tech does die out and fade away. And what's left is maybe a company that can pivot. But if the company doesn't pivot, the technology, if it's still operating in an old system that's, slow, clunky, and also expensive, why would it still exist? I'm not willing to say that Bitcoin's going to zero. My mentor, Dan Pena, is. And I know many other people that think that Bitcoin is going to zero. I'm not willing to say that it is, but it is interesting to watch the fundamental case for Bitcoin change over time from peer-to-peer cash to now digital gold. And you ask, what kind of staying power does it have, with the only premise being, let's get more people to believe it's going to a higher price over time. That's the only value proposition, is that you're going to be able to buy it today and you're going to be able to sell it at a higher price, or you're going to be able to ride up a higher price of Bitcoin. For me, yes, I understand the math that Michael Saylor shows for how Bitcoin gets to 49 million. You understand that we're living in Mad Max if Bitcoin goes to $49 million. Your loaf of bread's going to be, 100,000 in that reality. Your Taco Tuesday is going to cost you $500 at Taco Bell. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's going to be ridiculous. $49 million Bitcoin. But nonetheless, I'm not here to stand in front of it, other than I did like to short Bitcoin when I was trading futures, not currently, but yeah. To each their own. It's like, I'm not shorting this stock market. I'm no longer shorting Bitcoin. I'm no longer standing in front of this thing. It's just my assets are allocated in other areas. At the end of the day, this pullback is shaking out the weak hands and another good opportunity for fundamental believers. 100%. 100%. Peaky, good to see you. If we have QE and inflation is going to 10x these numbers, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Wilton says, having an adult beverage while listening to you. God bless you, Wilton. Truck is in reverse, ready for the dip. Let's go. Crypto Poor is getting crypto rich. He's going to have to change his name. XRP, my buddy made a road trip and filled a pickup truck full of silver. Beginning of the year was funny seeing the bumper almost drag on the ground. That's called backing up the truck. When the truck is scraping pavement, that's called loading up. That's called loading up. Now, one of my favorite things to do is at the landscape supplier, the landscape materials yard, is watching the vehicles that people pull up in to haul some materials. They'll pull up. I watched somebody in it. What was it? A Toyota? It wasn't a Corolla or Sienna. And they had like a little rink-a-dink put together trailer behind their Toyota Sienna. And they got like a half yard of dirt put into it, and the thing almost folded. It's one of my favorite things to do. Is I love pulling up to the landscape yard and watching these guys get loaded up, and they got their little Prius with the trailer behind it, and they get like a half a bucket, little half a scoop put in there, and the thing folds. That's backing up the truck. That's loading up the Prius. A little too heavy. But when if you picked up enough metal to have the truck scraping in the truck, that's a lot of metal. That makes my little bars and my little coins look like something silly. Got my buffalo heads. Huge shout out to Randy. She got me some maple leaves finally. Canada A. The US Canadian Mint. Now the Mint did just raise prices on silver. I forget, it was like 5 or 10 cents per ounce that the Mint is now charging extra to all of the dealers. So that's going to be passed on in the premiums that we're going to be paying to our dealers. This is what I've been saying. While the premiums are low, you have an opportunity to take advantage of this because, basically retail investment's not there. The prices have been sustained and the prices are growing based off of retail demand out east, out in India, Asia, and industrial demand. When the retail investors start to come back into silver, this is when the premiums are going to skyrocket back up. And I don't even think it's really kicked in for silver yet, right? So premiums are still relatively low to where they have been. And while the price of silver has been suppressed here recently, sub $30, a nice little buying opportunity. You are one of the very few I respect in the crypto content space. I like Maximus Crypto, but he has been very busy. John, I appreciate that. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. Is Gary a good guy? YouTube channel, not financial advice. Eric is a genius. He created the video. Want to know why I own XRP? That guy, good fun. That's one of the best videos that's been put out on XRP. Huge shout out to Not Financial Advice for putting that video out. That is one of the best XRP videos you can share to explain the XRP thesis. There's a lot more to it, but I mean, to lay it out in a few minutes like that was spot on. And is Gary a good guy? Well, of course Gary's a good guy. He's a buddy of Goldman Sachs. Of course he's a good guy. Apparently Elon is pumping Dogecoin and Bitcoin again? Okay, I'm going to have to check this. Are you guys serious? Elon's pumping Doge again? No way. I just saw another video of Meg the Stallion at the... Oh, gosh. Oh, man. This is where we're at, 2024. Oh, this is the news that you guys were talking about. Ripple X news alert. Tokenization platforms Open Eden Labs is bringing tokenized US Treasury bills to the XRP ledger. What's more, Ripple is creating a fund to invest in tokenized T-bills and will allocate US dollar $10 million to Open Eden's T-bills tokens as part of it. Ripple's throwing down $10 million, another Ripple investment. Open Eden Labs bringing T-bills to the XRPL. Cheers and God bless it. Let's go. Don't expect it to pump XRP today. But what does this mean for the future fundamentals of XRP? As I've been saying, one of the best advantages that we have is the decentralized exchange built into the XRP ledger. It's going to be one of the best sources of liquidity to openly and freely trade these assets. Do you want to go tokenize it and trade it on a network that goes down, is congested, breaks, is expensive? No. You want to be able to trade it freely with the best liquidity in the world? Well, come on in. Come join the party. And now you're seeing more and more issuers showing up on the XRP ledger, and I believe that Ripple is setting the standard with the stablecoin that they're going to issue. And they're helping others follow along with compliance-first mindset and get the tokenization done. This is massive. This is massive. This is breaking within the last hour. Thank you to whoever had mentioned that. Now I'm seeing it. What's up with okay, Bitcoin's back up to 64,000. Where's Dogecoin at? Dogecoin's at 12 cents. Okay, maybe I can look up Elon. Maybe I'll look up Elon and see what he said. Who's saying that Elon's pumping up Dogecoin? This is crazy. This is breaking right now, 23 minutes ago. Elon says, I'm coming for you, Maduro. He has challenged him to a fight. I will carry you to Gitmo on a donkey. Whoa. Whoa. Uh-oh. Maduro gives direct orders to his security forces, instructing them to keep Elon Musk out at all costs. The donkey oh gosh, This Maduro is delusional enough to think that Elon is going to personally show up and give him a thrashing. This can't be real. Is this real? This is a video of Maduro. I see him talking to his forces. Wow. Who said that Elon's pumping Doge? That's fake news. That's fake news. Who's the Dogecoin bag holder in the chat that was trying to pump us up? I know everyone has their thoughts on the SEC versus Ripple, but when do you think that it will end? XRP Joseph? Yeah, so I just stated my prediction is that it ends by the end of September. In the next 2 months, we're going to get the ruling from Judge Torres. Either in August or September, but it's coming in the next 60 days. That's my prediction. I feel very confident in that prediction too, which means nothing, but I'm just letting you know that I feel very confident in that prediction. Who's trying to pump up Doge in the chat, though? That's crazy. Peter Schiff bashing Bitcoin. How can those who answered my poll that they won't sell any Bitcoin, even if the price falls 99% to $120, be taken seriously? The main reason given to buy Bitcoin is that it's been the best performing asset. Why should anyone buy Bitcoin if it becomes the worst performing asset? Now, folks think that I'm a Bitcoin hater and that I'm salty because I didn't invest in Bitcoin. If anybody bashes Bitcoin the most and hates on Bitcoin and takes a shot at Bitcoin every chance they're given, it is Peter Schiff. He is the king of being anti-Bitcoin. It's hilarious. I do get a kick out of it. Sorry for those of you, non-American people, non-American community members in the chat, because this meme is pretty much spot on. Non-American people, and here we are with the news feed flooded by U.S. politics. And I know some folks want me to just stick to crypto, but I like to put this full encompassing story together. So, I can explain and show you guys why I have such strong convictions. It's not something I'm just pulling out of my behind to get us hype and to get us excited. I'm showing you all of this full story that I'm putting together to show you why the thesis is so strong, to show you where and when I'm questioning the thesis and the answers that I'm coming back with. Missy, how are you doing today? So good to see you, and thank you for the super chat and the dancing emojis. I appreciate you so much. Don't feel bad, my Casper bag just laughed at me. I'm numb to it all. Happens to the best of us, Peaky. I know that Casper just had a big issue. Yeah. I know Casper had a problem. Just like so many of these blockchains, right? Little bit of a problem. See, this is what I mean. This bar chart right here, this account, it's showing this gold futures market hitting 2,500 for the first time in history. This is a different chart than the one that I have pulled up. This is the gold August 24 GCQ 24. So this is a type of futures market, I believe, and it's showing gold at 2,500, which is well above that all-time high that we hit. So it's going to be interesting to see where gold goes tomorrow on market open. It'd be very interesting to see if this pump continues for gold when the markets open back up here in the West. Yeah. And once again, here we are. This is Tether says its holdings in U.S. Treasuries would rank it as the 18th largest holder if it were a country. The irony here is so perfect. The punchline, it's digital QE. And it's also expanding U.S. dollar dominance, which is exactly what the United States and our Fed wants. Buy physical gold, not paper. John, that's just it. Yeah. We're about the physical. We're about stacking it. We're about protecting it. And still just don't feel like I have enough of the silver. I haven't bought any gold yet, but I just feel like I don't have enough silver yet. Zach, you are like the Tracy Mayers of XRP. I don't know who that is. I've never heard of that. Water sign lady says, sold all my Bitcoin plus its profits a year or so ago and bought all XRP, and I'm not anti-Bitcoin. I just use it to get where the true party is at. That's a great way to look at it. That's a great way to play it. Once again, these assets got overbought, they got overhyped, and they did extend further than I thought they would. But the thing about it is that you don't have to absolutely time the bottom and the tops of these to just take your profits after you've made a bag, be happy and content with the profit that you made, but then move into the next opportunity that has significant upside. See, this is what I want our community to be focused on right now is when you sell whatever your plan is, you're selling at $5, you're selling at $10, or you're not going to sell any XRP till 589. Whatever your plan may be, get it dialed in right now because XRP is about to move and it's imminent. In fact, it's already started. Look at how quickly it recovered versus the rest of the market. You know, let's take a look at this. Actually, this would be interesting to see. So let's go back to the Bitcoin chart. I want to measure. Let's be fair here. From the lows on July 4th for Bitcoin, 53,400, rounding, to this level, back up to 70,100, 31%. Wow, that's so great. A 31% pump. Now it's down 9% below 64,000. What's XRP done? 73%. Double what Bitcoin did. Oh, a little bit of correction. It's crashing right now. Oh no. Down 8%, 7.76. So there's some perspective here when we compare. And I think that you made a great move there by taking your profits on Bitcoin and, you know, not just moving into XRP, but there's just other cryptos I think that are going to perform better than Bitcoin from here, from this level. I mean, I think that the best case scenario for Bitcoin is to double up to 120 to about 150,000 on the top end. I think the very top end would be 150, but about 120 to 140 is the range for Bitcoin for me and what I'm predicting. So a 2x if you buy now. For XRP, for many of these other cryptos, I think a 2x can easily be achieved within the next month. And, you know, we shared some TA earlier. Many people starting to kind of come along to the same thing that I've been saying as far as we get an initial pump, an initial wave up to new all-time high, sell off, and then we get a second wave that takes us past double digits. That second pump that takes us past double digits, that's where it just goes, it goes ridiculous as far as price action and volatility and violence, because people will be losing their minds. The people that sold off their bag at $3 and $2, XRP goes up to 3, 4, 5, comes back down to 2 or 3. And the folks that got out are then going to be FOMOing back in at 5, 6, 7, $8, and they're not going to know when to stop as XRP climbs back, and blows by the $10 marker. That would really mess with a lot of people. That would truly mess with a lot of people. You'd also have a lot of people in the community that aren't selling any XRP at $10. This is what gets interesting, is there's a lot of people that aren't selling at these levels. So there's, people expect other people are going to dump their XRP with them. There's a lot of, call us crazy, call us lunatics, call us whatever you want. There's people that are going to be holding large portions of their bags, even if we go up to 10, 15, $20. I know people that aren't, that 3-digit XRP is the minimum for them. They want to see 3-digit XRP. I know people that talk about 4 and 5-digit XRP. I think a trajectory towards 3 digits makes sense for me over the next 5 to 10 years, and I feel comfortable saying that. A trajectory towards 3 digits over the next 5 to 10 years is not something that makes me uncomfortable. Am I going to, say that it's happening 100%? No. I think that the potential is there. And I'm not going to rule it out. I'm not going to guarantee that it can't happen like so many people want to do. They want to say XRP can't go to $2, can't go to $3, can't go to $5. We'll never hit $10. That we're delusional for thinking that it can hit 589. That's fine. Call us whatever you want. Even if it goes to $5, I've made really good money. Even if it goes to $50, I've created generational wealth. And if it goes to 589, well, we're going to be able to change the world in a massive way. Dennis drops a 5 spot. What is up with the Ripple South Korea investment to build on the XRP ledger? Have you heard? Well, Dennis, that tells me that you didn't watch my video that I dropped a few hours ago, which is all right, because I dropped 2 videos today. Now here we are live. We've been live for over an hour and a half, watching what this market does here as we've closed off the monthly candle and we're starting a new month. But I did drop a video just a few hours ago, and it was titled new Ripple investment, and it has the South Korea flag on the thumbnail. That's how you know you're on the right video. And I did talk about this deal with South Korea. Yeah, the first initial investment, part of a 1 billion XRP fund that Ripple has created for South Korea. And I talked about this last night, just how South Korea loves XRP. The Asia Pacific region loves XRP. And the movement that you could see over there is those currencies continue to get destroyed. And the excitement for XRP, the digital asset, could really spur and be a big part of what extends this bull run for XRP. Like you're seeing what they're doing, you're seeing what China's doing, you're seeing what Asia's doing to gold, to silver. You're watching it right now, right? In fact, you saw what China did to real estate on the West Coast in the major cities of America. I mean, they came in and they bought heavy. They pumped up Seattle, San Francisco, and other cities along the West Coast. They pumped up Miami, and New York and other areas that they invested in. Well, same thing's happening for gold. West isn't interested, and meanwhile, India is upping their imports and removing the tax and the tariff on those imports after they imported more in the first 4 months of this year than they did all of 2023. And the retail investor over here is going to dump their silver because, they lost their jobs, times are tough, or, they have to give up their silver just for other reasons. Retail investors have not been showing up in the West. So this has largely been driven by industrial utility and by the Asian markets. Funny that we are considering this as we look at XRP. The adoption of on-demand liquidity in the APAC region has exploded. The love of XRP in these countries is deep. I mean, we got the CEO of SBI Holdings talking about every bank in Japan is going to use XRP. That kind of talk coming out of this region. But the investment that Ripple made in South Korea, it is for a company that is making a non-custodial wallet that is integrated with a DeFi protocol that the Root network is building out. And so it's an interesting deal, very interesting deal. We want, these countries and these folks love XRP just as a store of value and to be able to send money cross borders. So much that is lost in remittances in these countries and jurisdictions, especially illiquid corridors. But then you also have the new utilities that are being brought to the XRP ledger. So for the developer community, and that's what Ripple is going to focus on with this, Korea fund, is funding developers in that region that can build products for the different apps over there. Like this app, this non-custodial wallet that Ripple just donated money to, they're allowing for social media logins. And you got to think they're using different social media platforms over there. So this is why you want developers that, work basically with the social media platforms and the systems and the networks over there to be building out these DeFi protocols, these solutions, tapping into the Root network. They're doing some interesting things on the XRP ledger. But then this one just came out within the last hour right here from Ripple X. And this is tokenized treasuries on the XRP ledger right here from Open Eden Labs. And Ripple says that they're going to allocate $10 million to their tokens to get the party started. Now, what's interesting to me is that they're going to invest $10 million in these tokenized T-bills. At the same time, we know that Ripple is also set to launch their stablecoin, which will be backed by T-bills as well. Right? They're going to back it by cash and T-bills, similar to Circle and Tether. But Ripple has the competitive advantage because they also have acquired standard custody and trust, so they get to do custody in-house as well. They don't have to pay any fees or any fees for the custody part of the stablecoin business. So we just reported on it earlier. The first episode of today was about Ripple versus Tether. Tether is sitting on nearly $5 billion worth of Bitcoin. They made about $5 billion worth of profit in the first half of this year, and they're sitting on about $90 billion worth of US treasuries. Really good business, the money printing business. It's really, especially digital money, because you don't even have to spend money on the paper. It's one heck of a business, printing digital money. especially when you work with the US government and you get that partnership where they let you do your business, they let you be shady, they let you provide no audits, no reserves, but you're expanding US dollar dominance, you're buying $90 billion worth of T-bills, you're a friend of the US government. RT showing up with the 20 spot. Appreciate the super chat, my friend. Much love. Thank you so much. XRP's not going back to 42 cents. Yeah, I mean, we could see that's where the trend line, that's where the level's at if we got a big back test. The trend line's right at about 40 cents. Zach, you would not believe the hate you get for saying XRP is a store of value, and instantly getting battered with Bitcoin is the only true store of value. Well, measured against the dollar, it's just not the case, what they're trying to say. It's been a great store of value, right? It's lacked performance as far as other cryptos that have pumped and gone up more against the dollar, but against the dollar, it has held its own. And with you know the move that we're set to get for XRP, if XRP goes up to $10 and then comes back down and settles down at $3, just doing that alone is holding up incredibly well against the dollar and the inflation and destruction of the value of our dollar, right? And I know people don't want to do that. People want us to go to 589. People want us to go to $100 this bull run. People want us to go to $30 this bull run and then settle back down at $10 or $15. And maybe that does happen, but consider the potential for us to even just go settle up at $3 to $5. Even that, you know, would really, measured against the dollar in the history of XRP, would blow the performance of most assets out of the water. If XRP just goes up to those levels and then, you know, comes back down, corrects, and chills and parks itself at $3 to $5. Now, a lot of folks say that this is when utility is going to be coming in, and this will drive XRP to a lot higher prices, and I don't rule that out either. That potential is definitely there, 100%. How we doing? We got Christy in the house. Health, wealth, abundance. Good to see you guys. Dirk, good to see you. $15 small bag, sell, retire, hold big bags for generational wealth. Quentin, that's what it is. A lot of folks, you can get yourself out of debt. You can, you know, maybe you need to, you know, sell off some XRP so that you can pay off some debt so that you can live stress-free and actually enjoy the wealth and the prosperity that you're going to bring for yourself with your long-term bags of XRP. You know, that's what I want to do is, you know, mostly just make an allocation towards real estate. And, you know, I'm also looking at private equity as well, but balance my portfolio that's just been lopsided into XRP. I've balanced it out a little bit with silver. We're making some other moves as well, too, that have balanced it out. So it's not 100% XRP, but I still need to do a little bit more diversification. Even though I believe long-term that XRP is still going to a lot higher prices. But it is funny how we're not allowed to say that XRP is a store of value, isn't it, Formula Moments? It's funny how we're not allowed to call it a store of value. Even though on the CME futures, sorry, not the CME futures, but the CME index. The CME index, what did they call XRP? What subcategory is it in? It's in payments and it's in store of value. Well, those are characteristics of a reserve currency, aren't they? A medium of exchange, and a store of value. Those are the properties of a reserve currency. But God forbid we call it a reserve currency. Nobody can call XRP a reserve currency. Nobody can call it a store of value. Nobody can talk about XRP going above $5. Nobody can be excited about XRP. Nobody can say that the XRP lawsuit's about to end and that on-demand liquidity is going to go live in the US. And that the Ripple stablecoin is going to launch and bring more liquidity into the XRP Ledger ecosystem. And that we do have legal clarity as that XRP is not a security. Do we have clarity as it being a currency, a commodity, or the exact new definition or term that they're going to come up with? No. But we have legal clarity that it's not a security. So we don't need to get lost on the technical nuance. We can appreciate that fact and run with that fact, knowing that XRP in and of itself is not a security. So as long as you're not packaging it up as a security, you are good to go. I.e., why XRP is being relisted all across the secondary market and exchanges. In addition, folks want to say that we're not allowed to say that XRP ETFs are coming, even though we already have XRP ETPs live in Europe. Exchange traded product, exchange traded fund, it's the same thing. Just because it's in Europe doesn't mean it's anything different than what's going to happen in the United States when BlackRock launches an XRP ETF. Oh, wait, no. We're not allowed to say that BlackRock's interested in XRP. We're not allowed to say that BlackRock's going to launch an XRP ETF. We're not allowed to say that BlackRock's going to create a large cap fund that creates a basket of multiple cryptocurrencies, including XRP. We're not allowed to say that. We're not allowed to talk about that. Let's see, what else am I not allowed to talk about? Well, I'm supposed to stick to crypto. I'm not supposed to say that Trump's coming back, that the Trump pump will occur, and that our markets are going to go ballistic just off of the perception that he's going to continue the program that he started during his first term. That's my prediction. We're not allowed to say that the stock market bubble is already popped and that we're just getting started. We're not allowed to say that the Fed might not cut rates in September, that they might give us another pause. We're not allowed to say that. We're not allowed to say that you can have a portfolio on crypto that doesn't include Bitcoin. Not allowed to say that one either, are we? There's a whole lot of not allowed to say that out there, isn't there? Isn't that funny? Seagate Tech owns 4% of Ripple equity, pays 2.5% dividend. That's interesting, Dennis. I'll have to look that up. Seagate Tech. That's interesting. Okay. Seagate Technology Holdings. Is that the same company? Yeah. Looks like it. You know, it's interesting how many investments have come into Ripple, but furthermore, how much Ripple's bought back. $1.4 billion worth of share buybacks. And they've been buying it back at a price that's double what Link2 is offering it. Now, by the way, guys, I do want to update you on PolySign. I'm just waiting to get more information right now. They've really left everybody kind of in limbo, and everybody's pointing the finger at other people. Nobody's really taking the blame. And I'm going to do a PolySign update here shortly, though, because I have been working to gather more information for you guys. And so you guys know that I had a source, vetted source, very close. And we have some other sources as well that are giving us some insight that is just not looking good. It's still not looking good. To summarize the PolySign update, it's still not looking good, unfortunately. But the deal there with PolySign, once again, we'll update you further on that. But what we know is that Link2 was offering Ripple at it was 30, now it's up to about $40 per share. And Ripple's been buying it back at about $60 per share. And they've been buying it back from their own employees and early investors. So they've been providing exit liquidity for the employees and early investors that want to offload. And that's keeping the market propped up for Ripple equity. And I've talked about this Ripple equity equation and the valuation that it could potentially IPO at. I think that it actually has the potential to IPO and have one of the largest IPOs ever. Right now, the valuation, the implied valuation on Link2 is only about $7 billion. There was just a company that IPO'd this last week called Lineage. That's a cold storage solution, a cold storage company. They have big warehouses that are, cold storage, basically large refrigerators. And this company just went public last week, and it IPO'd at some crazy valuation. It was like 18 billion. $18 billion. Yeah. $18 billion valuation for a company that does cold storage across the country. Now, Saudi Aramco had the largest IPO in the world at $25.6 billion. I mean, guys, this is crazy. Take a look at this. This is the list. Saudi Aramco at $25.6 billion. Remember, Ripple's bag of XRP is worth more than $25.6 billion. At today's price of 60 cents, it's well over 25, probably over $30 billion is how much XRP they hold. So that's interesting. Alibaba did 21.7. Now they did IPO in the US markets, right? SoftBank Core did 21.3 billion. NTT did 18.1. Lineage, as I showed you guys, just did 18 billion just last week. Visa did 17.86 billion. And then Facebook did 16.45 billion. So you can see right here, these are the largest. There's a couple others here. General Motors did a $16 billion IPO. ICBC Bank did 15.77. Deutsche Telekom did 13.96. And this Saudi Aramco was back in 2019. It wasn't that long ago. Alibaba back in 2014. And so it's going to be interesting to watch because the potential for Ripple to IPO definitely, 14, 15 billion. I think that's the implied valuation that Ripple's buying it back at, dang near. The implied valuation that Ripple's buying it back at is over $10 billion. If they're paying $60 per share. Yeah. That's an interesting data point to add to our thesis. Now, I did see that Jaden. Is that Jaden? That's an interesting spelling of Jaden. Thank you for your Canadian funny money. Appreciate that. Appreciate the support. The most depressed will always have the last laugh. 2025, the year of euphoria. We've been talking about it, right? Survive till 2025. Community is a key factor in my decision to buy a coin or token. XRP is by far the most enthusiastic and knowledgeable of any other crypto I've seen. You know, it's an interesting data point to consider how enthusiastic our community is despite us missing the last bull run, missing the pumps, XRP's lack performance, but yet we're still the most enthusiastic, one of the most enthusiastic in the entire cryptocurrency space. That's an interesting data point, right? Now we're watching Bitcoin still below 64,000, XRP right above 61 cents right now at the time of this recording. Let's do a few more comments, questions, a few more minutes, and then I'm going to wrap it up at the 2-hour marker. Been live for 2 hours tonight. Appreciate you guys so much. If you guys haven't already, please check out our website, zachrector.com. I have additional resources there available for you guys to support the show, but also take care of whatever your need as far as exchanges, wallets, precious metals. Want to get tapped in with our private community? We would love to have you. Is the lawsuit almost over? Absolutely. Absolutely. Alibaba and SoftBank also invest. Well, no. SoftBank is not SBI, I don't think. SoftBank is different. SoftBank is not SBI. Oh, wait. Maybe I stand corrected. No, that's a different company. No, SoftBank is a bank in Japan, though. Yeah. It is a bank in Japan, but it's different from SBI. Now, I'm sure SBI Holdings probably owns a piece of SoftBank. So they're very connected over there. The fake lawsuit. That's right. Do you see a time when crypto can be stored and used to generate monthly income similar to an annuity or something like that? Yeah, Dennis says it's an SBI spinoff. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, SBI has their hands in a couple different moves, don't they? Yeah. Johnny Ripple, that's a great question. So right now, different DeFi, products and services and businesses are really coming to the XRP ledger and being built out on the XRP ledger now that the XRPL has these capabilities. So we didn't have NFTs, we didn't have an AMM, we don't have smart contracts, we're not getting smart contracts, but we have bridges being created right now. We're going to have an EVM sidechain. With all of these different utilities, we now can build out our DeFi ecosystem. This is where XRP ledger has been lagging behind the rest of the space. Is although we had the DEX, we were one of the first DEXs, we didn't have an AMM. Uniswap, which is the largest AMM on Ethereum, was launched in 2018. Here we are, we finally just got our AMM in 2024. And so the liquidity in the AMM is just now starting to build up. But this is the idea, is that you can generate yield off of putting your assets to work. That's what the AMM is about. Now that's just one option or way to generate yield. We also have on-chain lending. I forget what the XLSD, the amendment is, but we have an amendment that's being considered on the XRP ledger right now that would bring on-chain lending where you would literally be able to become the bank. Not just holding your deposits, but you'd be able to become the bank as far as actually lending out against and lending out your deposits. Right? So it's coming. It's coming. There's some, different platforms that have come about here recently, like Magnetic. There's obviously the Reaper economic system that has developed some interesting little, deals over there as well. So they're trying to build out DeFi eco right now as the XRP ledger gets the different capabilities and utilities and amendments that are actually allowing the ledger to do these sorts of things. The ledger is great for payments. The ledger is cheap and efficient in that regard. But we finally just got our AMM. We didn't get NFTs till 2 years ago, right? We're about to get an EVM sidechain that brings over all of the EVM smart contract developer work that's been already done and tested over there. Now we have interoperability right into the XRP ledger. It's not directly into the XRP ledger. It's into an XRP ledger XRP EVM sidechain is what it's called. And so it's going to be a sidechain that runs right next to the XRP ledger that allows you to settle any EVM smart contract using a wrapped version of XRP. I got to get the technicalities down because people want to correct me on every little last technicality. It's not actually using XRP itself, it's using a wrapped version of XRP. But the effect is to use and create wrapped XRP, you got to lock up real XRP. So you lock up real XRP so you can use wrapped XRP. I'm trying to make this simple for everybody to understand. But the sidechain, it's not on the XRP ledger, it's next to the XRP ledger. And it uses a wrapped version of XRP. But you got to lock up that XRP to use it. And this is what we're watching on the AMM right now, is the total value lockup continues to grow. The volume is down, the trading's down, the activity's been down. But big money continues to come in, or at least more money's coming in as we're seeing the total value lockup. That metric is continuing to grow. That's where we're at. Now, guys, we've been live for 2 hours. I think I'm going to call it a night. We are watching XRP and the broader cryptocurrency space correct right now. You know where we stand. This case ends in the next 2 months. That's my prediction. And we're going to a lot higher price. Come on board the train. You guys are already here with us. Bring your friends and family. Help me out by liking my content. Smash that thumbs up for me. Share it out far and wide. Let's get the good word out. Louis C.K., the comedian, the other day on Twitter, he posted a question, what's the deal with, I get Bitcoin, it has a limited supply, but what's up with Ethereum? It doesn't have a limited supply. It has an unlimited supply. What's up with that? And I responded, I said, that's a great question, Louis. This issue, this problem with Ethereum and Bitcoin, right, is what led so many of us to XRP. So, take a look at it. It has some legal clarity and additional utility. It's a cheaper and faster version of Bitcoin with additional legal clarity. That post got like 30,000 eyeballs on it right under Louis C.K. Did we get, some people to take a look at XRP? You bet. You bet. Did I get made fun of? Did some haters post clown emojis underneath me? Did some people retweet me and say that I'm a bad person? It all comes with the territory. And guess what? They can't stop us. They can't stop us from spreading the truth, and they can't stop us from winning. That's what we're watching playing out right now. We just pray that we can survive the storm. We know how evil they are. We know how far they're willing to go. So it's up to us to stay focused, locked in, work together, and continue spreading the good word out here, not just on XRP, but on standing up for our families, our communities, our business, and getting our investments right so that we can provide for our families no matter what they send our way. That's our mission. That's our goal. If you guys are here with me, make sure you like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you're new here. Everything else is at ZachRector.com. If you want to support the cause, want to support me, I greatly appreciate it. You can buy precious metals, get yourself a crypto wallet, get tapped in with crypto exchanges, and join our community. I really do appreciate all you guys' support. It's been a pleasure here for the past couple hours tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow morning in the next one. God bless all of you.